Hey everybody, good afternoon, and welcome to our weekly coaching session. Sound check. Let me know if you can hear me. Sound check, please. Going once. No card. Let me refresh. How about now? Sound check, please. Still no? Wow. One last time. The screen is black. You should be able to see his charts, no? Yeah, the charts are on. Sound check now is good. All right, good. I don't know why the platform is today is acting up. Black screen, no sound. Anybody else? Refresh. Let's see. Tom, refresh, please. Let's see if that works. Okay, we are. Don't quote me on this. We are gonna be upgrading the platform pretty soon, the VTF, and I believe you're gonna be very, very happy with the upgrade. You're gonna be really happy with the upgrade. But that's another topic for another day. For now, we're going to do some Q&A, some coaching, some discussion, and we'll, as always, we'll do. I'll start from the top to the bottom. Okay. So here is the room, so you guys see which questions I'm covering. So first, a couple questions from Ernest. First question is, when a stock bases at the high of the day, sometimes it's said that the stock has gone up too much and it went up 8%. Other times, we still place bases on stocks that have gone up 20%. Is it by experience, or is there some criteria for when the stock has already gone up too much if it's not a mega gap? Good question, really good question. Simple answer: the 20 MA. If the stock is basing and the 20 MA is caught up to it, it's good, even if it's up 50%. If the stock moved up 5% and the 20 MA is lagging way behind, it's no good. Now, if it means it moved up too much or too fast, okay? However, if we're talking about a gap in the morning, then you don't need the moving average to be already at price, okay? And in that case, you want to look at the daily charts to see if it's moved up, if it gapped up too much or not, right? If it's just above resistance on the daily chart, then it's good. But if it's way above, big gap, then maybe not. Does that make sense? So during the day, I use the moving average to tell me whether it's moved up or not too much, and I don't care about the percentage. Okay, I trust that's clear enough. Let me see. Ernest is still trying to get in, I guess. Okay, you're good? Okay, got it. All right, next question is, does it matter the ratio of the length versus width of the chart? I've noticed depending on how wide I make the charts, the slope of the 20 MA can look different. It shouldn't, but it depends also on what kind of a platform you're using. Look at how beautiful this platform is. When I want to expand the chart, it just adds more data. Look at this. See how it adds more data? It doesn't change the angle. It doesn't change anything. Some platforms, if you stretch the chart, it stretches the candles with it. I have another platform right here. Here it is. Let's say, whatever, Apple. If there's a 1 minute chart, if I stretch it, it doesn't add more data. It just stretches the candles. So now I have to kind of zoom out to fix it. Does that make sense? But it doesn't really change the angle of the moving average. in general, so we are, yes, TC2000 is like this too. It adds more data, which is beautiful. Now, in general, you want it to be, as much as possible, you want it to be square. Okay, so let me show you. 1 second here. So you want it to be, this box right here, to be about square. You see how it's almost squared? Got it? So that it's not stretched too much vertically like this. It's also not too stretched too much horizontally like this. But honestly, on this platform, you cannot stretch it too much horizontally. You can vertically, but not horizontally, because it adds data, which is beautiful. Again, you're not going to go wrong if you make your charts square. The square that I'm talking about excludes the margins. It excludes the price margin right here. It also excludes the volume, because some people like their volume bars to be really big, like this. I don't know why, but they do. They want to see the volume clearly. Well, that messes up the chart. So you'd have to really open it up, open the price up. Okay? Got it? So that's the general rule of thumb, is you want your charts to be as much as possible squared. All right. Next question. So I trust I addressed both of your questions, Ernest. Terry, when you take half on a stock that has no target. Oh, when do you take half? Got it. When do you exit? Okay. I took NTS at 9.58 on the 5-minute 1, 2, 3. Stock at all-time highs, so no target. I wasn't sure when to take some on as the stock was spready and wasn't really creating 5-minute significant pivots, which is what you use for your management. Okay, you're around, Terry. This is a big topic, and it involves multiple issues. Okay, so here's the play that Terry took today, which is the 5-minute 1, 2, 3 on NTS, and it's right here. Beautiful. Honestly, that's really beautiful. Let's take a look at the daily, see what the daily did. It was a breakout gap, so it was indeed beautiful on the daily chart and the intraday. I probably wouldn't have done it because I just shy away from spready stocks. $400, not super liquid, so I'm sure this was really spready. In general, if the stock is spready or jumpy, it's gonna make it harder to manage it, unless your management is, you stick with the original stop and you don't manage like all or nothing. But if you try to manage spready stock, it's hard. Okay, so there are several things to consider. One is your style, your preference. Yeah, 40 cent spread. So again, your style, your preference. What is it? Some people can never manage on pivots. Other people will not exit bar by bar because they like to hang on to the stock, and they would say, well, I just got in it. Why would I want to get out so soon? Let's hold it till end of day. So you have to incorporate your personality and style into the management. There is no one size fits all, so to speak. There isn't, even if there was a management policy or method that really did net the most amount of money, if it doesn't suit you, if you don't like it, if you don't agree with it, or if it doesn't, if you don't like it, you're not going to be able to manage your trades according to that policy. So you have to kind of figure out what it is that you really like, how you like to manage your plays in general. Okay, that's the first thing that you need to do. And in order to figure out also what the right management for you, you also have to know what kind of plays you take. Are you more of a, you like scalp plays, or do you like more all-day hold type of plays? You have to kind of know yourself. Are you more of a momentum trader, or you don't really care very, very much about the momentum? You just like you look for patterns. And as long as the picture is good, then even if the stock doesn't have much momentum, you still play it. So you kind of have to, I don't want to discuss that here, Terry. So you kind of, I'm just telling you, giving you food for thought. So you have to think about it later on and think like that. But then, so now more to the point. So now that we talked about this, so here's the thing. in general, if the stock prints 2 green bars in a row, you can go bar by bar. Okay, if you don't have target and it's a high momentum stock, it prints 2 green bars in a row, you can go bar by bar. Notice on this one, it did not print 2 green bars, so you can't really go bar by bar. Okay, so you kind of have to let it pivot, and then if it gives you 2 green bars in a row, then you can start managing bar by bar if you want to. Notice no 2 green bars in a row so far, so you're not supposed to, at least. So okay, so we talked about the style, we talked about when to manage bar by bar. Of course, managing bar by bar is good for when you think it's going to be a small target. Like if you thought this is going to be a big move, then obviously you don't want to go bar by bar. Does that make sense? You want to maybe give it plenty of room. So it depends on, I'm going to type it in, it depends on your style or personality, right? It depends on the type of play, and okay, the type of play and the target, what you think, how big of a target or how big of a move, right? Because this was gapping to all-time highs. So the type of play, meaning how powerful. Void above, is there a void above? In this case there is, right? What else? So the intended duration for the play, or your goal for the play, really determines your management for the most part. But also, as I said, in general, you get 2 green bars in a row, you can go bar by bar. Okay, if you don't get 2 green bars in a row while it's moving up, then you're not supposed to manage it on a bar by bar basis. That's when you hold for pivots, or bases, or whatever. But I hope this is gives you some, like, a good start or a good idea for how to manage plays in general. But management for sure is the hardest thing when it comes to trading. Okay, all right. Nice, 2.5 hours, Arthur. Okay, I think I addressed Ernest's point about the questions about the chart, right? I think I addressed that. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Dirty Trader, man. What a name. Okay. Do you ever use stop orders for your entries? I do, but it's not. I prefer not to, because a lot of times you're gonna get skipped, or you're gonna get a lot of slippage. So I prefer to enter manually, meaning as soon as I see the stock is about to pop, I jump in. Does that make sense? Not because I prefer to put the entry in the system and just move on to something else, but the problem is, you saw how many people complained about the LLNW today? It was almost a bit annoying to me, because everybody kept typing, oh, I didn't get fill, as though I had any control over it. So that's the thing, is that if you put your entry in the system, you can sometimes get skipped often. And not only that, if you don't get skipped, if you use a wide limit or a market order, you'll get a lot of slippage. So most of the time, I don't put my order in the system. I enter manually most of the time. What was my decision process on LLNW and NKLA? Okay, so I'll talk about both, but let me just scroll down to make sure I got the funny P-Trader. Okay, got it. Just to make sure there was no follow-up questions from Dirty Trader. I cannot say your name without smiling, at least not without smiling. What was the decision process on LLNW, and what was the other one? NKLA. So okay, so let's talk about first the LLNW. Now the LLNW, I liked. Now this wasn't such a good gap, but it was a good daily chart. Notice how this big rounding bottom was forming, and today's gap triggered the breakout. And I also liked it on the weekly chart, so check it out. Weekly was good right off the 20. So I actually like the LLNW based not because the gap was so good, but because of the daily chart was really good. So here's what happened. LLNW wouldn't trigger. The market was ripping this morning. It wouldn't go. And I'm watching it over 6, watching it, wouldn't go. The market, look at the market the first hour of the day today. I mean about the first hour or so. Ripped. So this already was like, it made me a bit uncomfortable. Then when it triggered, so again, so up until here, it wasn't going anywhere, not very far, first hour plus, and look what the market did. The market was already going. So, couldn't get it to go. Green bar, red bar, doji bar, green bar, red bar, green bar, red bar, green bar, small green bar, red bar. So it already shook my confidence in it a bit. That's the first thing. The second thing is my target for it was 635 or so, I think. Well, 650 really had room, 650, 647. But I thought 635. So when it popped here, see the pop? Oh no, not even here. So when it popped to 635 or so, and then the market took a dive just a little bit. So let me show you the market at around 11 o'clock or so. So the market, this is what the market did. Took a dive just a little bit, or I thought just before. Let me just see. Yeah, 11 o'clock. There it is. So the market. This was a red bar. So I felt okay. Maybe this was actually a red bar. So I thought, okay, maybe that's it on the LLNW. I was gonna trail half, but I ended up trailing the entire thing. And of course, what a mistake. I ended up getting out right here as it started to get going. Right here. It made 2 Rs, I believe, or so. I don't know exactly how much. It would have made, if I had kept it, it would have made like 7, maybe. I told Ifan I PM'd him, said, I should have let you manage it, because Ifan is pretty good at managing the runners, the ones that keep going. He finds a way to stick with them, and I didn't in this case. But I like the gap. I like the intraday. It just wouldn't go for so long that when it started to go, I decided to trail it, which was here. And it just kept going. So let me just see how much I made on it. I believe I made 2 Rs on it. And I was undersized by 1,000 shares, by the way. I was actually undersized by 1,000 shares. The stop was only 9 cents. So yeah, about 2 Rs. This is today's trading. So here it is. It made 987. So that's 2 Rs on the LLNW. The best play for me, but could have made a lot more. Now the NKLA, I have it in my TradeStation account. I already had it as a swing. I'm in it as a swing play. Okay, so it's doing a 1, 2, 3 on the weekly chart. Okay, so it triggered today actually, but I was already in it, and it hasn't gone anywhere for 4 or 5 days. Okay, today while reviewing, so the last couple of days, today and yesterday, I said, day trading is slowing. I'm not making, okay, 3 grand today exactly actually. Okay, but I'm not making 10 or 20. Sometimes I do, but not 20, 10 maybe. But I'm not making 20 or like I was a couple months ago. So I feel like day trading is slowed down a bit. And so now I'm really starting to pay attention a little bit to my swings. So I'm reviewing them multiple times during the day, whereas in the last couple months, I sometimes didn't even look at them once because I was so busy with day trading. Right now I'm not as busy. So I'm spending time. So while I was reviewing my plays, I had an NKLA, as I said. Check out what I saw here on the 15. And I typed it in the room, by the way. So I saw this 15-minute buy setup. I mean, that's a beauty. So I decided to add to it, to the play. add to the play. And then it really worked. Now, I didn't take anything. It's still, I guess it closed near the highs. I didn't take anything for mainly one reason, which was the entry here for me was under today's low, and I'm going to raise the stock to today's low anyway. So it's like a free play almost. So enter right here. It was up, I closed out on my TradeStation account, but it was up over $2,200, just this play, okay? And so I'm gonna raise the stop to here, which is basically, it almost makes today's play almost free. And if it runs up to $90, it'll be nice. I have 400 shares. It's not a lot, but this stock moves a lot, moves a ton. And so it was a 15-minute buy setup, and a 1, 2, 3 on the weekly, and a daily breakout. What's not to like about it? Now, I don't like to day trade the stock. It's spready, moves fast. I remember I looked at my fill in TradeStation, and I had an order at 69.10. Is that right? Oh no, I don't know, but I took like 25 cents slippage, and I had it in the system. 25 cents slippage. So I don't really like to day trade stuff like this. Some people love trading the wild stocks because they move so much. I don't. I like more controlled stocks, stocks that are a bit more manageable, that you can, control a bit more. Okay? But that's the play on the NKLA. That was the play on the NKLA. All right, let's see. Next, so I trust I was able to answer your questions. Who asked me about it? It wasn't Dirty Trader. It was the Clean Trader, the clean one. BIPA. All right, D Trader. Considering buy and sell setups, you have to use stop orders because for buy setups you are buying above the bid, and sell setups you are selling below the ask. You have to use stop orders because for buy setups you are buying above the bid. No, you're not. You're buying the ask. You don't have to use stop orders. You can just manually lift the offer. So here it is. Check this out. Let's say this stock. This shows a lot of spread. Let's go to Microsoft. This stock, I don't have to. When I buy it, I just lift the offer. I take the offer. 201.60. When I short it, I hit the bid. So, but I don't know. You said this wasn't a question from you. I guess this was just your opinion. No problem. Let's see. Which breakouts are better for entry before it triggers? Every breakout is better before. Not really. I mean, but the ones that most breakouts, if it's a real breakout and it's not just a, like a false breakout. Most base breakouts, when they break out, they pop hard. So I'm especially on breakouts, I am watching the stock closely so I can jump in as soon as I see it's ready. I feel it's ready to go. Every breakout, okay? Let's see. So we talked about that. John, how are ya? Do you ever take ATR into consideration? ATR is the average true range. I never do. No. Maybe I shouldn't say never, because sometimes I look at a stock and I say, let's take a look. I say, oh my God, it moved so much already. Do I really want to play a breakout on a stock that's moved so much? So sometimes that does cross my mind, but it doesn't cross my mind like this in a vacuum. I also think about the gap. I also think about how powerful the stock is. If I feel it's not really, shouldn't be that powerful of a move today, and it already printed a big move, it already made a big move, then I may think about, the size of today's candle, the size of today's move. But do I ever think about the ATR? No, never, ever at all. Because the plays that we take are supposed to exceed the ATR on the day that we take them. If what you're trading is good, then that's when it exceeds the ATR. Look at plug today, but that was my mistake for not. I don't know why I didn't see it at the open when it. I don't know why. I was probably doing something else. Plug. This was. I put it on the favorites. I said that's probably the best gap up because I didn't have any favorite gap ups. And look at that, red bar. I probably just saw the red bar, took my eyes off of it, thinking, well, it's coming in. And then next thing was, I as soon as it started to move up, I said, oh, plug, long, but it didn't wait for me. When you see something and then you have to put it in level 2 and then create an order, or figure out the stop, the entry, the stop, the target, and it just skyrocketed. So in general, I do not look at ATR, but if I see a huge move already, do I want to jump right back in? No, I don't, because the stock, I assume, has ran a marathon, so it used up a lot of its energy. So I'm not gonna expect it to shoot up again right away. Does that make sense? So that's how I think about it, but I don't think about the ATR. Okay, I wanted to take a trade today, but was basing on that, but was already at the ATR. Check this out. BNTX yesterday. Look at the size of the move. BNTX. Look at the size of the move. From low to high, that's 58 to 50, 51 to 58. Huge. Look at the 15 minute. Yesterday. This one. Thought it was yesterday. Oh, on the 5 minute. Is that right? BNT. Is that the stock? It didn't gap today. So why is it gap? Why does it show that it's gapping today? I don't know why. Hold on just a second. I'm confused. Is this the same stock? BNTX. I don't get it. This is supposed to be. It's missing today's bar. This is 623. Okay, where's 622? Here's 622. See, it's missing a bar. That is the weirdest thing ever. This is 619. Where's 622? Which is yesterday. Holy cow, I've never had that happen before. Let me reopen the page. Let me just reopen the page. I've never ever had that happen before. Let me try one more time. It is missing yesterday's bar. Well, let me just see that on the 15 minute. Psst, that is weird. From 619 to 623. I've never ever had that happen to me. Let me use my other platform. Here's the 15 minute chart of BNTX, okay? Here it is. Look at this. My point was it had already moved up a lot from 51 to 55, and look at the breakout. See it? So, again, don't let the ATR thing keep you out of good trades simply because it's the ATR, okay? By the way, this is my favorite breakout type of all time. This is my favorite. It's not my favorite pattern of all time. The bleed is my favorite pattern, but this is my favorite breakout of all time. And here it is. In this case, it didn't really base long enough, but here's my favorite breakout pattern of all time. Stock is bullish, pulls back, goes back up to the high of the day, and bases at the high of the day. That's my favorite breakout pattern of all time. Bullish, pull back, rally, base, low volume on the base. But again, I wish it had based just a little bit longer, right off the 20 breakout. But again, didn't quite base long enough. But look at the move. Huge. So that's my favorite breakout pattern of all time. Favorite type of a breakout. Okay. All right. So I don't know why that. I don't know why the BNTX is missing a bar on in Realtek. Next question. Let's see. The bar by bar management you just suggested would have been perfect. Okay, that sounds good, Terry. Where is your trigger on the LLNW and what time frame it triggered? We played it in the room over $6 by $5.90. So LLNW was played in the room. It was a 1, 2, 3 on the 15. There it is. So over $6, I believe the whole number. Stop 591. So 10 cent stop. I only took 4,000 shares, so that's why I said I was undersized by 1,000 shares, because 10 cent stop, that's 5,000 shares, is what I should have done for a $500 risk. I only played it with 4,000, but that's the play. That was the play. On the LLNW, let's see. Shaker, how are you? When breaking out of base, LLNW was as an example. You are waiting for it to trigger, then it gaps up 6 or 7 cents on a $6 stock and ends up with a bad fill. When you hit the ask, you don't hit the ask, you hit the bid and you lift the offer. Just doesn't matter, but I'm just sharing with you for your information. When you take the offer or lift the offer, do you recommend buy a little bit before the trigger in expectation and kill it if it doesn't? Yes, but I don't just buy it without looking at level 2. I buy it when I feel the level 2 is ready to go. So how do I know it's ready to go? When I see a strong, really strong bid and a weak offer. So if the offer was very strong, then I wait for it to become weak. So if I have, if I have a ton of shares here, let's just say, maybe HTZ has a ton of shares. It doesn't, but let's just say it did. It had, let's say, 77,000 instead of 7,700. Then I don't just jump in. I wait for those shares to disappear a little bit, and as soon as I feel it's about ready to go to $1.30, and assuming the $1.30 is my entry, then I jump in right before it moves up. But I don't jump in it while it still has a lot of shares on the offer. That's my point, okay? Okay, Shaker, I hope that makes sense. It's also not that easy. I mean, how many times have I gotten into a play because I thought it was ready to go and it didn't go? How many times? 100,000 times, 10,000 times, 5,000? I don't know. But it's happened to me a lot. And how many times have I put my order in the system at 6:01 only to get skipped, like a lot of you did today on the LLNW? Though on the LLNW, it didn't go for like 45 minutes. Would not go. And I said, if you want to get in it, it's your chance to get in it. Okay? I mean, look at this. After it triggered me in right here, it kept going sideways, sideways, sideways. You had all the time in the world to get in it, if you wanted to get in it. So no excuses, please. If you wanted to get in it, okay? All right. Let's see. When the stock doesn't go in your direction, let's say it goes down, do you take the stock to 1 hour? What's the possibility to not lose an hour on? I think I know what you're asking, Carl. You're saying, do you let it stop out or do you exit early? I'm always looking to exit early. If the play is not working, I'm always looking to jump out early. So if I see, as soon as something, like the LLNW, as soon as it popped, what did I tell you to do? Raise the stop to the breakout bars low. See it? It didn't save a lot because it was 94 instead of 91. So it only saved 3 cents, but I said that's still important because if you put your stop here, there's no support, we might end up getting filled here. So I said raise the stop to 93. This way, if it stops us out, we'll still lose probably an R, but we might get filled at 91. We won't get filled at 85. Does that make sense? So I'm always looking to reduce my risk, always. And sometimes it works to my disadvantage, meaning sometimes I end up getting shaken out easily. But it's just my personality. I'm risk averse personally. I'm always looking to tighten up, to just at least protect break even or somewhere near break even. Again, it's my personality. I'm risk averse. I have 2 brothers. One of them is in between. He's not risk averse, but not. What's the opposite of risk averse? Where's Tom when you need him? Tom Finn. What's the opposite? My older brother has an appetite for risk. He loves risk. I don't like risk in general. So I'm really risk averse. And I trade, I don't know. Yeah, you can say a gambler, I guess, Carl. I'm gonna tell him you said that. He's gonna be pretty disappointed. I don't know. He is. You can say risk seeking, right? He just has an appetite for risk. He probably, if he was a trader, he probably wouldn't trade like me, for sure. Riskophilic. I don't know. Whatever, you guys. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah, he's a cowboy. So that's just me. I'm always looking. That's why when I lose, I don't, like today, what was my worst loss? It was that CJJD at the open. Look at my worst loss today. Well, go was bad, and then that's my worst loss. Those are my 3 worst losses. Okay? So, and look at the biggest winners. I didn't even have $1,000 gain today on anything, but I still ended up with $3,000. You know why? Because when I lose, I try to minimize my losses. I try to keep my losses small. Now, some people try to also, they don't mind losing so much, but they end up with bigger winners. That's fine. It's just a matter of style and personality. But whichever way you do it, it has to make sense. So if you're risk averse, it's natural to have small winners. Those are not like super small either, but I'm just saying. But if you're risk averse and you end up losing a huge amount, then that's a problem. Okay? So you have to kind of, you have to make sure that if you're taking big losses, you're also able to capture big wins. Does that make sense? So make sure you do that. Otherwise, it wouldn't work. And notice, just since March, that's this account alone, that's 440. Here it is, year to date, but that's really since March. Okay, and this account alone. All right. Okay. Next question here. Let's take a look. Let's see. Question. Do you use... Oh, no, I'm sorry. I might have skipped some questions here. Okay, so I think I answered your question there, Carl. Next question is, at what price did you close out of LLNW? And thank you for that trade. I closed out of it at, I think, at 24. Horrible exit, but it is what it is. So that's, I think, where I closed out of it. For NKLA, I entered as a swing at 69.12. Current price is at 74. Came down a bit. Okay, it's still up $2,000 almost, but yeah, it was up 2,400 or something like this, but it just shows 1,900 right now. Let's see, where's the question? Where did the question go? Here it is. And target is 85 to 90. Would you hold or place a stop around some price? What price, if so? 68.29 is gonna be my stop for tonight. I don't have that stop yet in my platform, but that's what's gonna be. That's gonna be my stop. 68.29. All right. Okay, thanks, Shaker. Appreciate it. That's exactly right. Please show an example of how you use level 2 to get in and out of trades. MJ, I'm happy to. I'm more than happy to. But right now the level 2 is not moving. So what I do is, let's say, I kind of talked about it already. Didn't I talk about this already? I showed you HTZ. Now I'm trying to catch a stock that has a lot of bids or a lot of offers. Let's say I'm trying to short this, and I see that it has 5,000 shares, or 50,000 shares. As soon as I see that the bid is all the shares are about disappeared, then I hit the bid and I short it. But as long as there's a lot of shares on the bid, then I don't short it. So that's how I use level 2 to get in or out of trades. And if I'm trailing a position and the stock is going up and it starts to, as soon as it breaks the bid, then I get out. If I'm trailing it real tight to the bid. Or the opposite, if I'm looking to play long. If there's a lot of shares on the offer, then I wait for them to disappear, and then when they disappear, then I jump in. Okay? All right. Let's see. Do you use several management styles? If so, when do you use them? Right. I'm a bit, at this point in my career, I have an overriding, overall general management policy that I use. But I do use several. If it's a scalp play, then obviously I'm trailing it to the level 2 or bar by bar on the 1 minute. If it's a momentum play, I'm often trailing bar by bar also. If it's a later, like a 15-minute buy setup, then no, I'm gonna wait for pivots. So I do have different management styles depending on the plays that I take. But somebody else might not be as versatile and not as experienced and might be better off sticking to a single management policy. Okay? But I take different kinds of plays. I manage differently at the same time. And I allow myself to manage based on my gut feeling for the trade. Not like emotional, but like my estimate or my analysis of the type of trade that I'm in. Okay, so I allow myself to manage based on my analysis of what kind of a move I think it's gonna make. All right. Can you start the day trading with less than Can you start day trading with less than 25,000? I don't think so, because of the pattern day trader rule. So that's the issue. I don't think you can start. I don't think you can day trade unless you are a prop trader. The only way to do it is through prop trading that I know of. Or if you open an account overseas, there are companies overseas that allow U.S. citizens to, but that's not really supposed to be legal, that allow day traders to trade with as little as $2,500. Let's see. Okay, let's see. My brother is a professor. He's a PhD professor. According to prospect theory, winners become risk averse while losers become risk seeking. Interesting. I'm gonna tell him that. I'm gonna tell him why I'm a winner and he's a loser. Kidding. Let's see. Okay, John. So I'm glad you were able to tune back in. Any other questions? A lot of good questions. Any other questions? Now, if you want to learn more about level 2 trading, right now that's not what's making money. But if you want to learn more about level 2 trading, I have done a few videos on it, and there is one. Let me look it up for you. It seems like every week I have to look it up. So let me just look it up real quick, and I talk about it. You know, I spend 25 minutes maybe talking about it. It's this one right here. This is my playlist. It's this one. So let me just copy the link. I guess, you know, I can just copy the link like that.
I stumbled upon Dan through YouTube, which I'm...
Okay, so that's the link. That's the link. All right, let's see. Okay, do you take the same R size on core swing trades as day trades? No, I do $1,000 to up to $2,000 on the swing trades, so more than day trades. If you're in a scalp and it goes against you, you already 4 cents or 5. It goes against you by 4 or 5 cents. Do you suggest to market order exit immediately, find the closest bid to put a stop under? I don't know. It depends on the trade. It depends on the trade, but probably just get out of it. Probably. What's the best platform for day trading? It's the platform that suits you the best, that works for you. In terms of speed and execution, I mean, in terms of speed and hotkeys, I like Sterling the most by far. I like Sterling. In terms of charts, I mean, I like this platform. It's called Realtek, EMS Realtek. So, you know, this is called, so Sterling is Sterling Tech. Sterling Trading Tech is their website. Thanks, Marilyn. That's right. I've done other videos also on level 2, and then other platforms. I like that for trading. EMS Realtek is for charting. That's my favorite platform for charting. No, this is not the right link. This is the right link here, and you can get a demo I saw on the website. So I like those. Some people absolutely love TradeStation. I don't like TradeStation at all. Some people like, you know, different platforms based on different things. So I mean, Ifan and James like Toss, Think or Swim. So and I hate it. So who am I to tell them their platform sucks? I think it does, but they like it. Yes, Realtek is expensive, which is why I don't recommend for somebody who's starting out to actually use Realtek, because if you use Realtek and you like the chart, then you're hooked. This is what happened to me a long time ago, 10 years ago. I used Realtek and I thought, my lord, these charts are really clean, very crisp, very sharp. You know, every other platform has weird, I mean, the charts are not very clear, not very clean. But I got used to it, and now I can't you know, I can't use a free platform. It's not a free platform. It's a premium platform. It's pretty expensive. But I can't switch because I just like these charts a lot. In fact, I tried even eSignal. A lot of people like eSignal, and it is nice for sure. But the charts, the trade session, the Realtek charts are night and day better than eSignal. They're just much cleaner, much cleaner. I tried every platform out there when I was trying to save money because it costs a lot of money, and I have two different accounts, Realtek accounts, one for scanning, and one for trading for the gaps. So I pay two subscriptions. On two subscriptions. But you know what? It's part of right now I don't care because it's I'm profitable. But in the beginning I don't recommend it. I recommend trying to use a free platform, see if it works for you, rather than have a large monthly expense when you're not even making money, right? So okay. All right, let's see. Next question. Before you trade, do you have a limit on the number of trades that you make for the day, or does it depend on your winning percentage? I don't have a limit as to the number of trades I'm allowed to take in a certain day. If in the beginning we all have issues, and and if you tend to overtrade, or and that hurts your trading performance, then yeah, you might want to put a limit on how many trades you can take. But some of my best days ever were, if I had limited how many trades I could take, then I would have limited how much I would have made that day. So I don't have a limit. Don't come up with rules that don't have any, they don't serve any purpose, that don't have a real valid reason for them, just because it sounds like it's a good rule. So does that make sense? Because I had a lot of rules initially in my trading plan. Can't do this, can't do that, must do this, must not do that, and if the rule doesn't really it doesn't serve a purpose, it should not be there. But as I said, if you tend to overtrade and you wanna limit you want to limit how many trades you can take, go for it. But you know what? Rules will not stop you. This is the issue, guys. This is why trading plans don't really work. I can give you my trading plan tomorrow and it still wouldn't work for you, because rules don't really, you will break the rules. Do you think when people are getting married, they're not really committing? Well, let's not get into marriage. Whatever. But rules don't really work. What works is understanding. What works is, so you knew where I was going, P Trader and Abu Ismail. You guys knew where I was going. All right, you guys are sharp. So again, rules don't really work. Because I used to I had a lot of rules, and I broke the rules on a daily basis. And I used to break the rules on a daily basis. And I used to pride myself in being disciplined. Right? I always have been. My younger brother always tells me, I don't know of any person in the world that's more disciplined than you. And I'm like, you're tripping. I'm not even disciplined. I don't feel I'm a disciplined person. And I would break the rules on a daily basis. I'm not kidding at all. On a daily basis, I would break my rules. So I realize that rules and trading plans, and they don't really work. What works is having a very thorough understanding of what you're supposed to be looking for, what you're supposed to do, and then that understanding creates its own discipline. You got it? It creates its own rules. But if I give you a rule and I say, Vito, you 100%, you cannot take more than 3 trades tomorrow, and Vito comes across a trade that he absolutely loves, you think he's going to follow that rule? No. He's not going to be able to. So it's the understanding, is what creates its own discipline. All right. Yes, T3 Sterling is connected to my T3 broker. Correct. Let's see. For someone who is new to trading, less than a year, got it. What trade management style would you suggest? It's the one that works best for you. There are a number of management that I can suggest for somebody who's new, but it really depends on your style. Go bar by bar on the 5 minute right off as soon as you get into the trade. 5 minute bar by bar. I almost guarantee you you will do better than what you're doing right now if you follow just 5 minutes bar by bar as soon as the stock triggers. I'm not telling you to wait for 2 green bars in a row. I'm not telling, just right away. As soon as it triggers, go bar by bar. Pick a time frame. It doesn't have to be the 5. It can be the 1, it can be the 2, it can be even the 15, though the 15 is a big time frame. My suggestion is 1, 2, or 5. Pick any time frame you want. I suggest the 5 or the 2 more than the 1. Pick any time frame you want. And trail bar by bar. That's the easiest to follow, and I guarantee it will be better than your own management. Why do you think I'm so sure about it? That going bar by bar on almost any time frame you want will yield better results than your own management. Why do you think I'm so sure about it? Anybody? It's because it's better than random management. It's because when the stock is going against us, we tend to get out too soon. When the stock is going for us, we buy it, it goes for us, we tend to get out too soon. When the stock goes against us, we tend to get out too late. So you are wired, myself too, we are all wired to do the opposite of what works. That's why trade management is the hardest, by far, the hardest thing in the world. About when it comes to trading, that's the most difficult aspect of trading. So doing something, going bar by bar, will yield better result than you trying to manage, because you're also having to deal with your emotions. You're also having to deal with random management, random exits all the time. So consistently managing, following a management method on a consistent basis will always yield better results than your own management, almost regardless of what kind of management you follow. Bar by bar, pivots, moving average, all or nothing will almost always yield better results. Okay? Feel free to do it. You know what I will ask of you if you want to do it is send me a spreadsheet with your trades and how you did bar by bar versus your own management. Or feel free not to do it initially. Let's say the next 2 weeks, continue to manage how you manage, and list your exits. List where your exits would have been if you had followed bar by bar, and send me the spreadsheet. And send me the spreadsheet. Of course, we're gonna go by the honor code, so but I encourage everybody to do it. I've challenged people to do it many times in the past. You know how many people did it? 2 maybe. 1 or 2 people. You know how long they did it for? A week or 2 weeks. And I said, I'd be happy to review your trades for you. But what I need you to do is to list the trade, your exit, and where you would have exited bar by bar. And you will see in 100% of the cases, it'll be better than your own management. Now, if you're very experienced, then no, probably not. But I'm talking, about this is mostly true for somebody who hasn't been at this game for a long time and who's not consistently profitable. Okay? All right, continuing on. I'm trying to use E-Trade for shorts even after I set up the speed keys. It still wants me to confirm the trade. Does use speed key? Yes, you want to cancel that confirmation. Okay. They were not of much help. Sure. Let me look up. I closed out of my E-Trade, so let me look it up real quick and see how we can do that. How I did it. But basically, you want the confirmation to be cancelled. It should be in the settings. I did it when the weekend that I set up E-Trade in March, and I haven't really, I don't know where it is, but it's definitely there, because I don't get asked for that I don't get that confirmation pop. Let's see. Thanks, Marilyn. Okay. Yeah, John, it's really not that easy. Even though you already know that all or nothing is, you're profitable on it, but you still can't follow it. I don't know what to say. The best way is to be proactive and to maybe not even watch your stocks. If you're gonna do all or nothing anyway, the best thing would be to not even watch the stocks. To just as soon as you enter into a play, put your stop in the system, put uh, your exit in the system at target, and then just get rid of the ticker symbol. Just get rid of it. Get rid of the chart. So because if you're, as long as you're looking at the chart, you're gonna manage out of it for sure. So let's see where it is. So let me see here. Does anybody know where in E-Trade Pro? Sheldon, I'll read your comment in just a second. Anybody know where in E-Trade Pro that would be? Like I'm thinking maybe settings. No. I'm not very familiar with E-Trade Pro, even though I use it. Confirmations. How about confirmation? I don't think that's it. Look at that. Look at this. There you go. See it? Uncheck the show order preview. Simple. Shaker. Go to settings. Confirmations. Uncheck the show order preview. Uncheck it. Okay? Alright. That's it. Should be it. That should be it. Alright. Good. Good. That's it. Alright. Next question is... Right. That's what you really have to do. Is either walk away or get rid of that stock, so you're not looking at it. It seems people in the room find lots of trades that are suggested, but if I try to follow your method of only doing the ones that look great, okay, that's good. If you try to follow that, that's great, and ignore the rest, no problem. I cannot tell you. I mean, I ignore so many trades every day, so many trades. It's incredible. But if you try to take them all, you will lose money. So it's better to not be too greedy and focus on the ones that you really, really like. When you come across them, they will jump out at you. They'll say, you'll just look at them and say, okay, this is it. There's no, maybe if this, if that, if the other thing. No. So again, if you try to focus on if you emphasize everything, you emphasize nothing. Am I right? If you try and emphasize everything, you emphasize nothing. So just focus on the really good ones. What about management plan of only doing official plays? I'm not sure what that means. Okay. It is so true. I'm trying to learn every week. I always break my own rules. It's the truth. It's not you, Sheldon. It's everybody. Sure. You're most welcome. Appreciate the nice words as always, Sheldon. Appreciate it. But it's not just you. I don't want you to think it's just you. Okay. It's better to just accept the facts that you're always gonna break your rules. Might as well now do it in a better way, and so that you're not creating conflict within yourself. So what do I mean by in a better way? I mean you just kind of accept who you are, accept the fact that you can't really follow the rules, and see how you can trade so that you're in a way so that the rules are not necessary, so to speak, so that you don't have to deal with rules that oppress you, so to speak. Come up with rules that actually work for you, for your style, your personality, your trading style, right? So that's how I feel about rules, because everybody, myself included, if we come up with rules that we don't really love, we just and that don't work for us, we will break them left and right every day. After you get into a trade, what do you look for to know the trade is not working and hence exit? This is I get that question a lot. It's multiple things. It's what is the stock doing in light of what the market has done since I entered into it. Are there any is there a failure pattern? Did it break out and immediately the breakout bar turned into a big topping tail bar? So it's multiple things basically, but it's your ability to read the chart. So it's not just one thing. Otherwise, I'd be happy to tell you just look for that one thing. But it's really multiple things. I like to see, just like everybody else, I like to see when it triggers. I like to see, I like to see some initial move up right away. If it doesn't move, if it doesn't confirm right after it triggers, then my confidence plummets. My confidence in the play, which is exactly what happened with the LLNW today. It wouldn't go. But if the play pops a little bit, then okay, I can hang on to it because now I know it was good. And it would be unlikely for the stock to come all the way back down and stop out. Maybe it'll come in a little bit and then, base up here and go higher. But if the play right after triggering over a whole number in a bullish market doesn't go, then it shakes my confidence a little bit. Okay. Let's see. Do you think IB is appropriate for short, mid and low caps? Lots of times you say there are shares available to short but doesn't fill a single one. Correct. It's not just, I have to say IB has the best short list in the market by far. They have almost every stock available, almost. So IB is best when it comes to having shares available, but IB is probably the worst trader that I'm aware of when it comes to getting filled when the stock is on an uptick. When it's on an uptick, forget about it. You're not going to get filled. Which is why I'm with E-Trade. It's the only reason why I'm with E-Trade. Do you think I like how when I send my order, it takes a second or two before it hits before it goes live? Because before when I send my order, it doesn't immediately hit my account. I can see it in the order status in this window. It says pending for a second before it says live. I'm like, what the heck? And the stock is already gone. So I don't like that at all about it, but I do have better luck getting filled when the stock is on an uptick at E-Trade, which is why I'm with them again. But IB has a better short list, but it's almost useless because you can't get filled on it if the stock is down, if the stock is on an uptick. And most of the time if I'm shorting a stock, it's on an uptick. The only exception is when it's climactic, like INO today. E-Trade didn't have it, and that was not on an uptick. It was not, I don't know where, maybe here. So if IB had it, I would have gotten filled. If IB had it, I would have gotten filled. All right, so I don't think IB is the best for day trading personally. And then besides, they have a commission. A really expensive commissions, don't they? So commission rate. Regarding what we're seeing in the queues, are we possibly looking at the market top today? I don't know. I don't think so. But let's take a look at the queues. Here's the queues. It is a topping tail. I don't know. I'm not really sure. I didn't feel it was at all. I don't think so. Because look, so check it out. This is why, I'm going to tell you why I don't think today is the top. Look at this. Look at how many bars in a row, with one exception, which was right here. And it was a very small red bar anyway. But look at this. Look at how many bars in a row. Again, with one exception right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's ignore these two. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 11 bars in a row. And then look at the volume spike. Look how far away from the 20. Nice big doji bar there. Okay, that might have been the top. And I thought it was. But look at this. we pulled back, went back up, based for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row, and then broke out. Sure, the breakout ended up getting sold a bit, but that shouldn't lead to, that shouldn't be the top. I don't think so, because we already went up, based, and so we didn't go up non-stop. If we did, and we got this kind of a bar, then I would say, yeah, that's a nice reversal bar for sure. But I don't think today is the top. Could we come in a little bit tomorrow? Sure, absolutely. But I would be more willing to bet that we go higher than lower tomorrow, based on today. Okay. That was a 13% correction in the IWM. Well, I had $7,000 in the Qs. And I gave it not all back. I gave most of it back. I had 600 shares, so do the math. From 242, I was up $7,000, almost $7,000, I believe, but I gave it all back, almost all back. Let's see. Yeah, you're right. Shorts really are not very good right now. Longs much better. And I'm naturally a bear, so it makes it a bit more difficult for me. All right, we're good. Are we good with today's session? I was able to answer all the questions, I hope. If so, I'm gonna say let's end it right now, and I will talk to you in the morning. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Hope you had a good day. Hope you have a wonderful evening. Talk to you guys bright and early at 9 a.m. Good night. Take care.